I think for the time being, we will leave them by the wayside. And let's head up somewhere a little more manageable for the moment, shall we? So set up our minefield. Hopefully Rug takes one too many prisms to the face. Please and thank you. If you could be so kind, my friend. Perfect, and that definitely does the trick. Man, you gotta love some fulminant prism action. And for the rest of you coming in with melee weapons, this is much, much more up our alley as we just spam the way that only a conjurer can. And a Djinni wanted that. Perfect. Okay, well, definitely not too shabby here. Now we just have to cross our fingers. Hope this isn't like an Arbalest themed floor. I mean, an Eden. Already faced your kind before, my friend. I mean, not to say that you're not, of course, unique and special in your own way, I'm sure. Unfortunately, just not in a way that matters to us. And okay, the kobolds are definitely making the list of annoying enemies for us. Noxious Bog is interesting. I wish that we had Spider. Fortunately, Swamp and Snake. Because Noxious Bog, that's the one time that I've really seen that spell go the distance, of course. Is in Spider when it's just poisoning the crap out of everything, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. We'll keep just sitting in the center here, though it's starting to be a few too many archers. Is there much I can really do about that besides if I kind of come down here being a little more cognizant of the fact? And in fact, I could just reset this. I'm worried that they'll all surround the stairwell and cause problems. So instead, I'm just going to hope that we can murder enough people to replenish the health costs of Starburst, and that does seem to be the case. Holy moly. Makhleb, way to go, kiddo. Super proud of you. No, that's not normally the direction these D&D relationships go, but oh no. Oka's my dad and Makhleb's my son, apparently. These are my new headcanons that we shall take into every run going forward. And that should just about do it. We've made enough noise here that I'm guessing that was a large portion of the floor. Of course, no promises. There could still be an absurd number of orcs is what I was going to say, but there could also be, yet again, another manual of ice magic. It'd be really nice if I could get an ice spell. Have some reason to use the absurd amount of niche resources that have been sent our way. A shimmering barding. Oh, so sad that we can't use it here. I feel like we mentioned that, or it came up briefly earlier in the stream this evening, but I failed to mention that that's one of the secret reasons that I adore playing kobolds, is the whole never run into an item you can't use. I guess that's not exactly true now that I think about it, because a barding is still not an option on that side, so very silly of me to use this moment as the example. That definitely still gets around to any kind of disappointment, just because any weapon you find is just as likely as the next to be useful at some stage in your journey, which is awesome. Let's just juggle around our good friend here. Fantastic. And now that should very much be the last remaining bit of the floor, right? I feel like we've made so much noise, we've explored so much real estate, there cannot be too many more corners that our new friends could be hiding around here. Though, of course, as per usual, the game is immediately doing its best, making all the effort to prove me wrong. That's why we normally try to instead trick that dang RNG force with some sarcasm or reverse psychology. But okie dokie. as my brain shuts down mid-sentence. But okie dokie, we hit our skill caps once again here, so that shield, definitely something we can throw on in the very near future. What else do I want from life? I mean, more evocations is always nice, I guess. So could go that route. Otherwise, fighting is another thing that on a Djinni, you probably want to end up maxing fighting just to give you the full HP pool to work with. So at least we can turn that on as a back burner and then maybe focus on the Evo side. And then we'll see. Chances are I forget to enter the screen until we hit these caps. I always set things, or I oftentimes set things a bit higher than I would potentially like them to go, because it's like, we'll see how things are. You know, once our focus skill hits its cap, then we'll come back in here and make the necessary shifts. And this never actually ends up bearing out. And yet the self-lies continue, and I don't see them stopping anytime soon. Hell yeah, brother. Okie dokie. Well, that's our orc. Unfortunately, nothing too exciting, nothing on the shopping front. Besides, it was the manual vice magic, but does not at all necessitate buying this. It does potentially mean we can ignore ice magic manual. Do I really want a ring of intelligence though? Meh. Do I just hold on to you? At least until we need the inventory slot? And then we just go for the gold because we can? Who knows? Regardless, I think next step here is to head into our S branches and we can see how deep into those paths we can get. It would be nice to pick up both of our runes before the end of the evening here. But we'll see. We definitely had an interesting time the last time we were navigating through Snake at the end of an evening. So let's start there and then we can head to Swamp. At least Guardian Serpents, not actually that much of a problem. We have some kind of built-in anti-constriction maneuvers with the help of IMB, so that's lovely. We'll just throw down a prism there. In fact, let's apparently double up on those. Just make sure we take care of you. Fantastic. Again, it's very, very nice having the innate poison resistance of the Djinn here, so we don't have to worry so much on that side of things. Always love to see it. Do wish I had a slightly better method of dealing with enemies at range, which I said and then immediately realized, oh, I do have Vile Clutch, and I've once again, after very optimistically thinking to myself that, oh hey, I'm actually remembering to use my spells here, this is awesome. That was the last time we used it for a solid 20 minutes or so. Great work, me. But that is totally fine. And again, bunch of baby snakes, nothing we can't handle. Then we'll spam more than we probably should on IMB just to make our lives a little bit easier. And that is all going fairly smoothly for the time being. Cannot be too mad about that, my friends. Let's blast you. I guess I could have just put down a prism and rudely interrupted your nap. A bit of an explosive alarm clock, rather, as it were. That's fine. I actually should buy the Scroll of Fear as well, seeing as how we don't currently have too much going on in regards to shops we wish to peruse. Use up all the ID and then let's take a look. Necklace of Bloodlust? No, I don't think so. Another protection ring, double up on those bad boys for 8 AC. Unfortunately, probably not really our best option either, but another ID is fantastic. Let's keep going through our scrolls. We got our blinking identified, so that's pretty huge. And then what else did we get there? Scrolls of Torment or something or another. Was Torment. Meh, probably not especially useful for us, but that's fine. Not everything has to be a game changer. Sometimes we're happy to just break even. Ooh, as we get another requirement scroll, so that might actually force our hand. Let us make a decision here, shall we? Could just take the manual vice magic. Again, I don't need the gold. There's a pretty decent chance that we never actually get any ice spells and left shrugging, I guess, but that's not the end of the world, so let's just grab that bad boy. Let's see what else the game wants to send our way, shall we? Resist poison and positive energy is not going to cut it. It is more gold, so that's interesting. A staff of air, I guess we kind of need electricity resistance, so there's something to be said for that, even if it's not much. Gross. Unfortunately, the scrolls have been living up to their often used nickname of Scrolls of Disappointment in this game, but not the end of the world. The way I like to view it is that if you get something game-changing or wonderful from Requirement Scroll, then that's something to just be excited about because you are in the rare minority, and otherwise it is how it is. And life goes on. The world continues to spin, the dungeon continues to be delved, and so we continue. Ooh, okay, should definitely once again be remembering my options. So reach out and grab all of you. In fact, we can kind of just do the same once more with feeling. Beautiful. And that should basically take care of all of our new snaky friends. I'm trying to think. Normally, I have a habit of constantly using... Oh, we do want electricity resistance. That is a lovely reminder to get in this moment. So, I'm going to interrupt my own train of thought there, and we're actually going to acquire something for sure here. Staff of Air. Yeah, that sounds lovely. How did you know exactly what we wanted for the holiday season here? Thanks, DCSS. But for whatever reason, I'm always tempted, or I lean towards and tend towards using fancier animal classifications. They're not even fancier, but the official ones I really like. Talking about, you know, equines, bovines, cephalopods, all that good stuff. But I have no idea for the vast majority of animals. And the reason why I think about it is because all I could think of was snaky boys for our snakes. But a +8 orc bow, electrical cold resistance, interesting. I do have to, again, cement into the brain, our cold resistance is currently sourced from our sword. So if we swap over to that Staff of Air for the electricity resistance, we do have to start being aware that things could very quickly take a bit of a nasty turn there. But hopefully that never becomes a fear we need to face. Sharpshooter definitely causing us a whole lot of trouble. Unfortunately, getting some friends between us and them is not going to resolve the problem, because they do have some of those fancy portal projectiles. Or actually, portal projectile got swapped out. Okay, enemies still cast the same. Oh, jeez, as our health, yeah, took a bit of a dip there, to say the least. Quite a bit lower than I am otherwise comfortable with, but that's fine. If you say it in a panicked singing voice, it makes it true. And that is some logic we are banking on here, because hopefully we are indeed fine for the time being. More melee snakes, please and thank you. Just until the end of time itself, I would love to make new friends with a bunch of melee snakes, if you could be so kind. Or not, thanks DCSS. I mean, rude, but fair enough, to each their own. Far be it for me to complain about your methods. There we go. Or never mind, sharpshooter just turned around the corner, but we do eventually get the job done. So fantastic. You know, I'm actually thinking back now to our demon spawn run, and I just realized the purple outline that demarcates when an enemy has a potentially scary additional, you know, item of interest, usually a distortion branded weapon or a staff of sorts. They get that purple outline. We did not see that on a holy weapon as an undead species. I feel like that's something that would be nice to have. Again, not necessary. I should just be a little more on the up and up when it comes to actually paying attention to what my enemies are bringing to bear in an encounter. But I do find that kind of interesting that it was not included in that bundle of objects to be cautious about. If that makes sense. It's probably some custom RC file stuff, or in my case, any file things that I can do to achieve the same result if I had to guess. But again, we've largely left our local file untouched, and we play pretty vanilla here on this side of things. Especially I find that it helps if you have new folks come on by. It's nice to see the game exactly how you see it on your end, though potentially that's just me strawmanning myself an excuse to not do the admittedly small amount of work that is required to get something like that set up. I'm just scooping up all the ID scrolls we can possibly find. Potion of Haste is lovely. And I think we could use all of these ID. Not counting how many potions we had left unidentified, but why the heck not? Let's just take a peek. Okay, we definitely went a little bit overboard, but that's fine. And scrolls of ID we can leave on their own for now. Wand of Flame, probably also fine to not worry too much about that for the time being. And let's finish off, yeah, already on Snake 3, not too bad, all things considered. When I normally consider Snake to be the one of the nastier of possible branches. I don't like this Mighted Salamander being right next to us, but oh, I should not have even spent a single turn, because I need to push back these Might Buddies and make sure that they're not causing us problems. Fortunately, they're slow, so we need to be careful of the hasted snakes. But other than that, we're okay to just squeak on by here. Excuse me, pardon me. And what else can I do? I guess I should be reaching out and grabbing you. That's the real play here. And doing it before Guardian Serpent gets any funky ideas in their head. Let's just hop down the stairwell for now, and we should be able to handle this crew a little bit more safely from the safety of the stairs. Or not at all. So never mind that. Still just blast ya, and that does the trick. Okay. Snake 3 starting to test us a little bit, largely just testing my ability to pay attention more than actual danger at the moment, so at least that's all right. I can't complain too much about that side of things. And we get our lightning resistance, and we face off against our new electrical friends here. Fantastic. Swap back real quick. And rinse and repeat until the cows come home. Let's just use some poison darts on you, my friend. And that should just about do the trick. I'm definitely being lazier than I should with that casting. Again, spamming IMB quite a bit more than is necessary by any stretch, but that is fine. Oh, my poor hasted friend. She walked right into that landmine. And that is wonderful. Fantastic. Staff of Alchemy, no thank you, please. And that, I guess, is not the end of the floor. Keep feeling like we've been here for ages, but I feel like I guess that's just the time dilation that goes hand in hand with stressful situations, or more accurately or relevantly, near-death situations. Sir, do you want to come right this way? Please and thank you. Wonderful. So great to have you. And Zot Trap is probably not worth scooching on by at the moment. At least not unless absolutely necessary. And just rinse, repeat, and more of the same. Feeling pretty solid. Again, that always makes it harder runs to actually come up with relevant or necessary narration rather than just my usual nonsensical incessant rambling that we generally tend to default to. It's these moments that I hope that a large chunk of the people watching are similar to me in regards to how they enjoy content. And what I mean by that is that I'm very much a use all content as podcasts kind of person. I use YouTube a lot on my phone, but I don't actually watch my phone that much. It's usually having something, oftentimes something that is not a traditional podcast, playing in that kind of capacity is just a lovely little background noise, something to keep my brain ticking away in the background. Oh, Vile Floods can definitely drop the Degeneration Potion. But yeah, it's moments like this that I feel that way, and also in general when I find myself struggling to not sound like a complete fool, which is the majority of the time. There's always that naive hope, there's that naive optimism that nobody's actually listening, right? It's all about the tenor and tone of my voice, so if I just talk like I always do, and as if nothing has changed and nothing is wrong, and then we're perfect. We're sitting pretty over here. Seems I'm well into this. Can't believe you missed the start of the stream. Yeah, we're a ways in for sure. We've had an interesting evening, to say the least. We lost our very, very promising demon spawn to a war gargoyle with a nasty holy branded weapon, much to our chagrin, but having a lot of fun returning to the old favorite here, good old Jane. And let's actually swap over. An Ice Blast is very likely to take care of our archer pal. And then the rest of you should fall down as a matter of course. Fantastic. But yes, we're actually getting pretty dang close to catching up to where our demon spawn left off here. Fortunately, we didn't get... well, I guess unfortunately, we didn't get too far into that run this evening before running into said war gargoyle troubles and tribulations, but shouldn't take us too much longer here to at least pick up our S branch runes, and then we can feel pretty solid about leaving off for the evening here.